Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now in today's video I am going to do a book review of a book that is very special to me. It is something that has helped me so much along my journey, particularly in my entrepreneurial works and business, and I really wanted to share this with you today because I think this book will make a difference to absolutely everyone and anyone, whatever it is that you're wanting to achieve. So the book that we're going to be covering today is Goals by Brian Tracy. It's an incredible book that I must have bought about, I would say it's got to be more than 10 years ago now. I've been using it for ages, and it really is Brian Tracy is like the king of goal setting, if you like. He's incredible. He's written so many books, but this one really is the focus for specific goals and how to set goals, how to achieve your goals, and really the step-by-step processes that you need to do and you need to go through to achieve whatever it is that you personally want to achieve. So let's get started. Now, Brian starts off the book with the question of what is it that you really want and what is it that you want to be. So you have to establish and ask yourself those sort of questions. What is it that you actually want? Okay, yes, everybody wants more money or better health, but you need to do it in a more of a structured way and really sit down and ask yourself and determine, write it down exactly what it is that you want, and that is the first thing that you have to do in this process of setting your goals, because without knowing those things that you want, like concrete written down, how are you going to achieve them? It's going to be incredibly difficult, and it's like a ship not knowing where it's sailing to. It just goes sort of round and round in circles. So that's the first thing that Brian mentions and that he covers. As part of that, he talks about imagining that you can succeed at anything, you can achieve anything that you want, and imagine what that would be like if you were guaranteed not to fail. So what would it be that you would want to achieve and want to succeed at if you knew 100% that there was no danger of failing, that wasn't an option? And that is a great starting point as well, because that really helps you to understand what it is that you want, and to not have your fears and negative thoughts sabotage what you really, really want in life. So that's something that I would suggest that you can try, and it will make a big difference in the first initial steps of goal setting. You then need to determine the price that you're willing to pay. So Brian talks about what is the price that you are willing to pay to achieve those goals, achieve what you really want, because there is always going to be a price that you have to pay. Unfortunately, it is it's kind of part and parcel of it. You can't just sit on your sofa or permanently go on holiday and things and your goals will be achieved. No, there is going to be a certain price in time and effort and potentially money and things that need to go into achieving your goals. So first off, have a look at that and see if you're willing to pay that price. You might not be. You might be like, no, actually, I really don't feel like doing that. I'm quite happy with where I'm at. So just have a look at what it's going to take and the price you're going to have to pay to achieve your goals. Then he suggests to only talk about the things that you want and not talk about the things that you don't want. So it's that positive mindset, but it's a bit more than that. It's about being aware of the things that you could. It's very easy to start talking about the things that you don't want. Oh, I don't want to be late. Oh, I don't want to lose this job. Oh, I don't want to run out of money. Oh, I don't want to be ill. But actually that's like attracting all the wrong things into your life. You need to be solely focused on what it is you want, not what it is that you don't want. And one of those things for me that I recognize when I start doing that is the sentence usually begins with what if. So what if I don't achieve X, or what if I don't achieve this? What if I don't achieve that? And that's when you know that the fear and the negative thoughts are starting to come in, and you're thinking about what you don't want rather than what you actually do want. So throughout the day, you need to kind of like check in with yourself, and you'll see these different times in the day when you're starting to say and starting to focus on the things that you don't want. But just flip that around every time you see yourself doing it. Just, right, okay, I've seen it, I'm doing that. I don't want to do that anymore. I need to focus on what I want. I'm going to focus on all the things that I want, not on what I don't want. Then Brian also talks about something that is quite an interesting one, and it's kind of hard to accept, but we will have to accept it, and that is we have to take responsibility for our own lives and for our own successes. We can't be making excuses and blaming everything else, like the economy, or blame your family, or blame it. You have to stop the blame situation, the blame game, so to speak, and really take responsibility for your life and what you want to achieve. Yes, the chances are things aren't 100% ideal within life. Everybody has different things that they are dealing with, but that doesn't mean that you can't achieve great things just because there are difficulties and obstacles. The reality is, if there weren't obstacles, it wouldn't be a goal, it would be a task. I think that's that shift, that you need to realize that there will be obstacles, there'll be difficult things, difficult times, unexpected situations that come up, but it's not about that. It's about realizing that you can actually still achieve so much, even with certain negative things that happen to you. But you have to take responsibility that you are in control of your own destiny, and that you are in control of your own success, because you are. You are. If you take back that power and stop blaming anything else, it will transform your life and your success. Brian also suggests within this book to do what he calls back to the future thinking. So back to the future thinking, it just sounds slightly crazy, but it's not. It's basically taking yourself in your mind to 5 years from now, and then looking back and seeing what it is that you want to have achieved in that time. And it's really useful for deciding what you want and setting your goals in that process, because it's quite a powerful visualization tool, and it's something that really hits home, because I think we all have goals that are sort of shorter term. We can, if we're not careful, we keep everything very, very short term, quick fix, instant gratification. But actually, if you can look a bit further into the future and start planning longer term, and realizing that the decisions that you're making today are actually should need to be for planning in the next few years rather than just in the next few days or weeks, and that completely shifts your mindset and enables you to really focus on the slightly longer term, which ultimately will lead you to achieving so much more. Brian then talks about listing down certain things. So like, what belief, if you had this certain belief, what belief would it be that makes such a difference and an impact to your goals? What skill would make an absolutely massive difference to helping you achieve those goals? Like, write these things down, because these are things that you need to work on and acquire. He also mentions about what person or what people would make a massive difference to your goal to help you contribute to achieving these things. And these questions that he puts in the book are actually really helpful, because they get you thinking, and they get you thinking of how to apply the theory, which so many books it's just all about theory, but it gets you thinking of how to apply it to your specific life and your specific situation. So that's really helpful, and there's like a thread throughout the book that there's these questions to ask yourself, and it just gets your mind going, and before you know it, you've come up with all of these incredible things that you need, and that you just, if you hadn't read the book, that you just wouldn't have done. So definitely try that. So the next thing to do, which is probably the main core as such, is write down your goals, and the way in which you write down your goals. So you need to list them like in the present tense, and also have a deadline. They need to be specific. You can't just say, I will lose weight, or I want to be rich, or they're like flaky, all over the place goals that are not really even goals, to be honest, and they're certainly not goals that you're going to be able to achieve because you can't measure them. So an example of a goal, say for example you wanted to earn, I don't know, £1 million or $1 million next year. So you'd write down, I earn $1 million by the 31st of December 2025, say, and that is then written in such a certain way that your mind starts thinking that it is actually happening because it's in the present tense, and because it's got a deadline. If you just leave it open-ended, I think the brain has this way of sort of pushing it aside, and you don't focus on it. But as soon as you've got a deadline, it starts to go into your subconscious mind, and you start to realize, actually, this is becoming part of me and part of my goals, and that's something that helps so much. So don't forget to write it in the present tense and give it a deadline. Make it measurable. So after you set your goals, you need to write a list of all the things that you need to do to achieve those goals in a sort of a planned way, because there's obviously lots of different actions and tasks that you need to do to be able to achieve these goals. You can't just write it down and then forget all about it for a year and hope it happens. Unfortunately, it doesn't work quite like that. I wish it did. But it doesn't, and there's like these lists of actions, and you know really what these different actions are typically that you need to take, but write them down, and then you need to sequence them as well. So because there'll be certain things that you need to do within these actions that are you can't do one before the other. There'll be a sort of sequenced order that you need to do these actions in to help achieve your goals. So rather than just writing a list, sequence it in order, and then add dates as to when you're actually going to do it. And Brian also mentions the importance of associating with the right people, and I think this is absolutely true. It's incredibly valid as to who you surround yourself with makes a huge difference to your life. So within it, he suggests like writing a list of all the different people that you should try to surround yourself with. He talks about, writing things down, what you need to do to achieve that. So like if you want to surround yourself with like-minded entrepreneurs, research all the entrepreneurs groups and see which ones you can join up to or that you like the look of. It's that kind of thing, like thinking about where are the people who you want to surround yourself with. If you don't, maybe you have it all sorted already, but chances are I think pretty much everybody wants to improve the environments that they're in, and they want to attract great minds to learn from and to be around, and be around really positive energy with people. It's infectious. Energy is infectious. Positive or negative, so it can go one way or another. But just have a think about the people that you want to surround yourself with and associate with. The next step that Brian covers is visualization. Now this is something that's incredibly powerful because it enables you to get your goals into your subconscious mind, and you start to become that person who has achieved those goals in your subconscious before you've even almost got started. And doing this on a daily basis, ideally last thing at night, visualizing yourself having achieved these goals, and visualize that with the feeling that you've achieved them and how good that is, and like all the benefits and all the great stuff that's happening as a result of it. Just feel it and think it and see it in your mind, and it will start to help that transformation process, and you will start to get lots of ideas popping into your mind throughout the day that help you towards achieving those goals. So always incorporate that. Brian is a massive advocate for visualization, as am I. It's very, very powerful. So I would suggest that you try that. Then finally, Brian talks about persistence and how, as you go through this sort of journey and this success, the pursuit of your dreams and your goals, how you need to persist, how it's not just going to happen overnight. We all wish that it did, but it doesn't. And there's these myths, I think, of people who have achieved overnight success, but it's maybe because they've become famous very, very quickly. But what people don't see is all the years and years of hard work and preparation and things that have gone into it beforehand, that just, I think in some respects the world kind of likes to gloss over that, and they make it this overnight success story. But nobody is an overnight success story. There's always a sort of backlog, if you like, of work and load of work that has gone into that, in preparation for that moment when it all comes together. Now, I've covered quite a few points in this amazing book, Goals, but there is so much more when you dig into it. It is a real resource. It's something that I've used so many times within my career, and I would really advise you to take a look at it. You'll enjoy reading it. It's written in a way that's super easy to digest. It's not like heavy going or anything like that. And you can dip into it and take out what you need for different times in your life. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe below, and I will see you all again very soon. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought we might have a little look at one of my all-time favorite books. I think it's one of the most complete books that I have ever read. Now, I know that's quite a statement, but for me personally, this one really resonated. It included so many powerful tools and things that you can do and use in everyday life. Yeah, it was really user-friendly, because I think some books, sometimes they're just a bit, they give you the theory, but you can't really figure out easily how to put it into practice. Whereas this book definitely does that. So I am a big fan. And the book is Maximum Achievement by Brian Tracy. Brian is one of the gurus on success and goal setting and how to really max out your life and max out the achievement in life. He's written so many books. There's another one that I will go through at some point called Goals, which in itself is incredibly powerful. I think it's really important to not be afraid of goal setting and putting out those targets in life, because it's really important, but you mustn't be afraid of doing that because fear you might not reach them. It's not that you weren't good enough to reach them, it's just maybe you ran out of time and you need to push them out a little bit. So you can't have that fear of failure that is going to hold you back. We all have these hidden powers that we don't even know that we necessarily have, and it's just a question of learning how to tap into that, because you've got all that you need within you, within your own capabilities, but it's just a question of bringing that out. And that's definitely something that this book can really, really help with. Within it, there are 12 steps like that. There's a lot more than that, but one of the key things is there are 12 steps that you can do that will virtually pretty much guarantee that you are successful. Now that would be great when, because we all hate that uncertainty. We don't like the fact of, oh, will we win? Will we not win? Will we succeed? Will we not succeed? Are we going to achieve in life? Are we not? Well, if you follow these steps, then you're pretty much dead on set to actually achieve. So I'm going to go through these 12 steps with you today, and hopefully you'll find it beneficial. Step number 1 is desire. So what they mean by that is knowing what you want. That is the first and foremost thing you have to do. You have to really sit down and ask yourself, what is it that I really, really want? What life do I want in all the different aspects of your life? So personal life, financial success, fitness and health. Where do you want to be? So that is the first step, because if you don't know where you want to be, you don't know what you want to achieve, then chances are you're probably not going to be heading in that direction. So absolutely, the first step is establishing what it is that you want. Step 2 is belief. Now, belief is, in essence, believing in your soul deep down that you can achieve what you want to achieve. And I think at certain times you have to kind of almost brainwash yourself into that belief, because on the surface it might not seem likely that might happen, but actually some of the most miraculous and unbelievable things can happen when you do get behind your beliefs. And what might seem like realistic to society actually is a limiting belief. You're not set by what society tells you you're set by, or society's rules as to, they're kind of like ingrained rules almost that are like at a subconscious level, that, oh, this doesn't seem realistic, or no, we've got to cut through all that. That's not going to work. That is not going to work. You have to have that inner belief that you can do it, and just keep telling yourself, and keep training and keep working on what you need to do, and learning and taking action. And that is an absolutely key part to what you need to do. So step 3 is write it down. Now, I think there can be a certain amount of reluctance from people to want to write down their goals, because all of a sudden it's there like in black and white right in front of you, and that fear of failure, or maybe not achieving those goals, I think can potentially kick in. So I believe that's why people don't necessarily want to write them down, because it's like, if I write them down and then I don't get them, I'm going to feel really rubbish. And that, yeah, I get that, but you mustn't let it hold you back. You mustn't let that be a determining factor, because writing something down, writing your goals down is the way to activate your subconscious mind to then work towards those goals. If it's just sort of out and about in your brain, like just floating around, it's not going to get into the subconscious mind in the same way, and your brain isn't going to focus on it in the same way. So writing it down is an incredibly important and like valid part of this process. And this book talks about that in quite a lot of detail and really puts it all in perspective. So 100% we have to write things down. I write my goals down every single day, like every evening. I write down my main goals, and I find that really gets it into my subconscious mind as I sleep, and it's incredibly beneficial. So I recommend that you try it. So step 4 is determine how you will benefit from achieving your goal. I think this is actually incredibly important as well. It underlines that motivation. It helps you with your motivation as you go along, because everybody can set a goal and then you can kind of just sort of drift away from it, and it doesn't matter so much, but it does really. But life's got in the way, and you haven't really focused on it and done it. So determining how your life will be better as a result of achieving those goals is just going to make such a massive difference when you get to those obstacles and some stumbling blocks that you inevitably will get to. That it's gonna happen. But if you know why you're doing it, and you can think of all those reasons and write those down as well, I think that's really helpful and beneficial to do that. Write down why you were doing what you were doing. What is it? Is that earning, I don't know, £10 million or £1 million or whatever that might be? How will your life change? How will your life benefit as a result of that £10 million? How will your life benefit if you've got fantastic health? What will you be able to do as a result of that? And those kind of reasons help you get through what is essentially some of the tough times, which will inevitably come with this, and come with achieving what you want to achieve, and ultimately maximum achievement, as Brian Tracy says. Step 5 is analyze your starting point. And that can also be hard because you have to really be honest with yourself, really truthful. Where are you now and where do you want to get to? Because if you don't know quite where you're at, it's hard to focus and put a strategy in place as to where you're going to be going. So focusing in on where you're at, how much money do you have at the moment? What state is your relationships in? What state is your health in? Just do a bit of it's almost like a life MOT really, as to where you're at, and then start to work out how you get from that point to where you want to get to. So step 6 is set a deadline. Now this can be quite scary because a deadline, if you've got a goal, it's like, I want to earn £1 million. So, okay, fine. That's your goal, and that's great. But then you put a deadline on it, and you then think, oh no, what if I don't make it in that time? But you can't have that mindset. You have to be able to set a deadline, because if you don't set a deadline, then it's just like pushed out to that good old someday, someday which may well never happen. So creating that deadline helps really focus in and focus your mind onto, now we are doing this. So all my goals that I have, I put deadlines on, and they all have different deadlines because it's not the same for each aspect in each area of your life. That can change because it can take longer to do certain things than others. But it is really important to have a deadline, because otherwise, time passes by, time drifts on, and before you know it, a year's gone, 2 years gone, a decade's gone, and you haven't achieved what you're capable of doing. Because this is the thing, you want to achieve your absolute maximum capabilities and get the most out of life. It's not sort of doing a bit, it's about really focusing in and on what you can achieve and maximizing your potential, not leaving any potential left on the table. that's what this is about. So incredibly important that you write down your goals and add a deadline, but don't be scared of it. So step 7 is to identify the obstacles that will come up, because the reality is, unfortunately, obstacles will come along the way. It's an inevitable part of business. It's an inevitable part of life. It's not all going to be absolutely plain sailing, super easy. Nobody has ever achieved anything in that way. So I think it's incredibly important to look slightly into the future, slightly with a crystal ball, but you can probably work out what those obstacles are going to be, things that are going to come up, and kind of preempt them. So think ahead and work out how you're going to deal with them when they arise, so that when they do arise, it's not such a big deal, and you're not going to get so stressed and worked up when things get difficult. So if you've got that plan in place, you can just fall back on that and put that into action whenever an obstacle or a difficulty arises. Step 8 is to identify the knowledge and additional information that you're going to require to achieve your goals. The chances are you need to learn more about whatever it is that you want to achieve it, and continual learning, but also taking action on what you've learned, is one of the absolutely key factors in achieving the goals and maximum achievement. So you need to work out where you can fill the gaps, if you like, in your knowledge. I mean, now there is so much out there, so it's like almost information overload. We've got too much information. Like 50 years ago or 20 years ago, they might have gone to the library or something before the internet, but now we've been blessed with the internet. It's basically like this incredible encyclopedia that we can know everything and anything that we want to, but there's so much out there, it can get quite overwhelming. One of the things I quite like to use is AI. So there's a really cool website called Perplexity, and Perplexity is basically, it's kind of like a search engine, kind of like Google, but it answers your questions. It is like ChatGPT, but it's a bit more specific and it's current. So you might want to ask it, I don't know, how to market a fashion brand or something, whatever it might be that you want to know, and it will give you detailed information on that, and much more so than Google, because Google will just give you links, which is okay, links to articles, but Perplexity has gone to all those links and gone through the articles and sifted out the really useful critical pieces, and I think that's actually an incredibly useful tool, and it's something that's now available. You know, anybody can use it, it's free, and it's something that I use quite regularly. So hopefully that's a useful tip, and will help you with this particular step. Step 9 is identify all the people whose cooperation you need, so whose help that you need to achieve what you're planning on doing. The reality is nobody can achieve anything alone. It's just, it's not doable, it's not viable. Everybody needs cooperation from other people to achieve their goals. So, you know, for example, for me within my business, I couldn't be achieving what we're achieving if it was just me doing it. There's just literally no way. There's not enough hours in the day. I haven't got all those different skill sets that my team have got, and to achieve your goals, you need to work out who you need to bring in to be able to really help you achieve that. Step 10 is make a plan. Okay, so you've got all the ingredients now, you know what you need to do, but you now need to plan it out. And I like to plan things out. I have a big long list, but I split it into days as to when I'm going to do things, and I think that helps. So you've got your to-do list and you split it. Having a plan is so important, because otherwise time drifts on. You know what you want to achieve, but you don't actually know what steps and tasks that you need to do to achieve that. So I definitely recommend creating a plan. It is essential to achieve what you want to achieve. Now, step 11 is visualization. So visualization is about getting super clear, incredibly clear about what you want, and then bringing it into the forefront of your mind and visualizing. Anybody can visualize, even though sometimes people think, oh, I don't know, I'm not very good at visualizing. I can't see it. Actually, you can 100%, you can do it. So just imagine your front door. Yeah, visualize your front door, visualize the handle, visualize turning the handle. See, you're already visualizing. So anybody can visualize. It's incredibly powerful. And if you can visualize yourself and feel yourself achieving these things, then it will take you to where you want to get so much quicker, I promise. So step 12, and the final step in this book, is persistence. So as we've said, there's going to be obstacles, there's going to be difficulties, there's going to be problems. You know, they're going to probably come at you quicker and faster than you'd ever wish they did, but don't let that put you off. You have to keep going, and you have to keep on track and focus. Staying focused is incredibly important, and persistence. I can't emphasize that enough, how if you keep implementing all these steps and doing all these things, then you will actually achieve your dreams. That's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this little book review, and if you did, please like and subscribe. I will put the link to this amazing book in the detail below, and if you want to buy it, then I would seriously recommend it. It's made a big difference to me, and I feel when I've read it, I have quite a big mindset shift. It really does influence how you think and how you feel. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Brian Tracy, and I hope it will bring you the benefits that it has brought me. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe below, and I will see you all again very soon. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I thought we might do something a little bit different. I thought we would do a book review, a book that I have been reading recently, quite powerful actually, and I thought it would be good to share that with you, and maybe we can learn a few things together from it. I mean, I absolutely love learning. I think that's something, whether it's reading or, you know, watching videos, listening to podcasts, whatever it might be, I absolutely love learning. It's quite a cozy autumn day today, and it's just seemed quite a good time to be doing this review. So the book that I have been reading is, let's see that, it's called Infinite Possibilities by Mike Dooley. Now, Infinite Possibilities, I just love the title for a start. Like, let's just let's start right there. The infinite possibilities. I mean, who doesn't want infinite possibilities, right? It is, I want to live a life that is limitless, basically, that you achieve just as much as physically possible in life, without limits, and to just absolutely go for it. So that is how I interpret Infinite Possibilities. And it says the art of living your dreams. Well, yeah, that like ticks some boxes for me. So I think that's what drew me to this. And I have also read some of Mike's other books, which have also been really good. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Mike Dooley's work. So just as a bit of an overview, it is about basically fulfilling your dreams, and it's like the law of attraction, but slightly different, but it is law of attraction and manifesting your dreams and what you can do. And one of the big things that Mike talks about in this book, and also in his other books, is thoughts become things. So what you think about ultimately becomes your reality. So if you think about things not going well constantly, you think about the worst thing that could happen, you will be attracting those bad things into your life. Now, that's not to say you have to think 100% positive all the time, because that's just rubbish. That's not realistic. Nobody can do that. That's unattainable for anyone, and me included. Like, no way, you know. But it's just getting it to be like the majority of the time, or over 50% hopefully, where you can be thinking in that positive mindset and really focusing in what it is that you want in life. So Infinite Possibilities, like, it helps with that. And one of the big things within it is visualization. So I think visualization is amazing. It's fantastic. It's incredibly powerful, because it's basically it's training your subconscious mind. So when you get your negative thoughts and negative feelings, they go to what we call like the supercomputer, if you like, so your subconscious mind, and your beliefs are stored within your subconscious mind. So if you've got a lot of negative things in there, then they come out as your beliefs and then your feelings, and then you feel rubbish. That's that's like my short summary of the subconscious mind. With visualization, if you can visualize what you want really, really clearly, get a super clear picture of whatever it is you want in life, whatever it might be. So, you know, having a beautiful family, having total success, lots of money, whatever it might be. So you really focus on visualizing that and what that looks like, and also what that feels like. So the feeling of these emotions when you visualize takes it to the next level of being even more powerful. So that's what I would say, and really focus on feeling that joy of feel like you've achieved them. That's something that I do, but don't like overdo it on the visualization. Don't think, oh my god, I have to visualize like 20 minutes a day or 2 hours a day or whatever. No. What Mike says in this book, and I totally agree with this, is like 5 minutes. You just need 5 minutes a day. That's it. We don't need to be visualizing for like hours and hours. I mean, who can do that anyway? I've got so much to get on with. And also the problem is, if you start visualizing for longer periods than 5, maximum 10 minutes, but I'd say 5. You start like daydreaming and going off, and then the negative thoughts come in, and then it's like it's not focused, and you don't get the same benefits as if you'd just done that really intensive 5 minutes of visualization. So yeah, that's a big thing in this book, and I obviously I know about visualization, I've learned about it before, but it was quite good to just read that again and remember it and just reinforce it. So I enjoyed going over that in this book. The other thing that he talks about in here is reframing. And I think we've all been there where it's like you have some stressful event, or I'm not talking about life-changing events, sort of grief and that, I'm not talking in that sense, because that you can't reframe that really. It's not the same. You have to, that's a whole different thing. But I'm talking about everyday stresses, like, I don't know, a client, something's happened with a client, or you've messed up an exam, or I don't know, whatever it might be. Reframing that, and like the way I would reframe it is I focus on gratitude. So I practice gratitude on a daily basis, being grateful for what I have, because it's like the easiest thing in the world to focus on what you don't have. But no, I really like to write down 5 things every day that I'm grateful for, because it just, I don't know, it just keeps you a bit more balanced. I find it quite therapeutic and beneficial, so that's something that I do, and it definitely helps, I think, with the law of attraction and bringing good things to you when you're grateful for things that you already have. Another thing that Mike covers in this book is intent, or like thought without action is not enough. So you can't just sit back, you have a thought, right, I'm dreaming this, I'm going to achieve this, that's great, and then sit back and not take any action, not do anything. It's not just going to magically appear in front of you. I like to call it taking inspired action. So inspired action to me is taking action from a place of confidence, of not of fear. Like when you act out of fear, it sends all the wrong messages out to the universe and to everything else, and it just, no, it's not good. It's all the wrong vibes. You don't want to be giving out that desperate energy, like, oh, I'm doing all this work because I'm desperate to get a client. No, that's not gonna work. So you have to take inspired action, doing the things that you think are gonna really help and give you the best opportunities, and then when you do them, you just need to kind of let it go and just not worry about it. It's easier said than done, I have to be honest. You know, some days I find that easier than others, but it's that inspired action that will ultimately get you the results. One other thing that Mike covers in the book is what he calls the cursed hows, which is quite an interesting one, really. So the cursed hows are basically, you don't want to be thinking exactly how things are going to pan out and how your dreams are going to manifest. That's easier said than done as well, because you want to like plan out with every minute detail, and it's not a question of not doing any form of planning or preparation. It's just basically not micromanaging it. You never know quite how things are going to work and how they're going to work out, and the universe is doing all these things behind the scenes, and the energy and vibration that you're giving off attracts all these things to you, but you're not going to 100% be able to predict that the way in which it works out. I mean, I've remembered this for me with clients and things, and there were certain people that I would meet and I think, yeah, I'm going to get this one. This is it. This is going to take us to the next level. This is amazing, blah, blah, blah. And then other ones, or other people I've met who I think, oh, I don't know, are we going to get this good business out of this or not? And I'm not sure. And then it ends up being those ones you get the best projects from. Like, who'd have thought? I don't know, but it always seems to work out that way. You can't totally micromanage and control the ultimate outcome in that way. You have to be focused on what you want first and foremost. That has to be right at the top, at the forefront of your mind. Once you focused on that, you need to take your inspired action and really go for it, but go for it from a place of confidence, not fear. And then after that, you have to just let it go. You keep doing your action, you keep doing and keeping that positive high level energy going, and then it works. And you have to trust and believe in the process and believe that it works, because it does, rather than trying to micromanage that whole last part of that outcome and how that dream is going to be fulfilled. So I would say that's probably like the main takeaways that I got from this book. I really enjoyed it, actually. It was a nice refresher for me for the law of attraction. I've been a kind of a student of the law of attraction for quite a long time. I know other entrepreneurs are as well. I know somebody like Sarah Blakely, closely follow, the founder of Spanx. If you don't know, she's a billionaire based in the US, but she is incredible. Big fan of Sarah. She's a massive fan of the law of attraction and has used it throughout her business career. So obviously worked out well. It works. It definitely works. It's worked for me. It's been a huge part of my success, and I would say, yeah, definitely take a look at this book. It's great. I enjoy it. I enjoyed it, and yeah, let me know your thoughts on it. Hope you'll join me again soon for another one of my reviews. But for now, I will leave this with you. I'll put the link in the bio, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe below, and I will see you all again soon.